whatever's laying around, tire, cinder block.
Yep. Anything.
Tree.
Wall. If I have a wall, I could do a lot with that. Let's say it's a.
That's not entirely wrong. Believe it or not, you could do quite a few exercises with a damn wall. You could actually do quite a few exercises with whatever's lying around. So Pat McNamara is not wrong. I would have guessed, though, his application of the exercises using these objects could be better, a little less force production, maybe using the objects to load muscle groups, load muscles based on or in accordance with their actual function. My guess is he's probably kind of swinging things around and stuff, but he's right. You really don't need equipment. As long as you know the function of the particular major muscle groups, know how to load them accordingly, you could use a wall and you could use a cinder block. So he's actually right. This comment says, this dude would be way stronger if he lived at my house. I have like 6 to 7 walls. Man, you'll read some of the funniest shit in YouTube comments, I'll tell you.
Eagle Lake, Texas, probably 3 years ago.
What's the smoke? Is that exhaust?
I mean, probably not the best way to use a cinder block for training your muscles. Here's the thing. Is it going to load and fatigue muscle? Yeah. Is your body going to respond to it? Yeah. But are you really going to stimulate a targeted muscle group heavily doing something like that and not maintaining continuous muscular loading? No. You're going to be using a lot of momentum, a lot of excessive force, so it could be dangerous. If I were to use a cinder block for training, I'd probably do it a little differently. Maybe use it as an overhead pressing movement or a lateral raise movement, or maybe row the thing. You could use something like that as long as you're targeting and addressing the function of the particular muscle group you're trying to work. Could this work for conditioning? Yeah, but it's probably a little more dangerous approach to it. Not the way I would use it, but he's not entirely wrong. You could do a workout with a cinder block.
There are 4 reasons why we should exercise. This is Mac's opinion.
Okay.
1, self-preservation, longevity. Good for your health. Stronger, longer. Motion is lotion.
Agreed.
Number 2, the ability to save your own life. Having that confidence knowing, yep, I could pull myself out of that burning car or over that wall or whatever.
Agreed.
Number 3, more importantly to me, is being Batman, the ability to save somebody else's life. So that's 3 reasons. The last one, kicking somebody's fucking ass.
Really?
So when I look at workout,
this is a part of this video that I fucking love. He told it like it was. There are 4 reasons why you should work out. 1, health and longevity. 2, self-preservation. The stronger you are, the more conditioned you are, the less likely you are to die. Duh. Number 3, being the Batman. The ability to save someone else's life. Huge. You can't do that if you're weak. You can't do that if you're deconditioned. You can't do that if you're fat. Number 4, being able to kick somebody's fucking ass. Yes. The bigger, the stronger, the more conditioned individual is going to have a sick advantage when it comes to any sort of combat.
Sure. I always tell people if there's one exercise I would recommend, like people who do jujitsu, Turkish get up.
Right.
It's the least romantic.
Those last week.
It's the least romantic of all workouts.
This is where I start to disagree with some of the video. I had Steve Maxwell, one of the top BJJ coaches in the entire world, on my channel. And we talked about the Turkish get up. Steve Maxwell was responsible for popularizing this movement. Since then, Steve Maxwell says it's probably one of the dumbest movements you could ever do in exercise because it's not functional. And he regrets ever introducing it. So those are where people get confused about functional training. All exercise is functional. The stronger, the more conditioned, the more durable your body becomes, the more functional it becomes in everyday life. Where people get confused is the concept of skill transfer, the law of specificity, and motor learning. Doing a movement or an activity like a Turkish get-up that kind of resembles another movement will not transfer. And the closer that movement is to the actual movement you're trying to improve, the higher risk for something called a negative transfer. I use this example all the time of a keyboard. You get used to typing on your keyboard. I'm very used to typing on this keyboard. If I go use somebody else's keyboard or a slightly different keyboard, I'm way less accurate. Why? Because of the law of specificity. My body adapted and learned a skill specific to this keyboard. Although the other keyboard is literally basically identical and so close, it's different enough to throw me off. This is where things like the Turkish get-up and functional training get debunked. Because just because you're performing an exercise or a movement pattern that resembles another movement pattern does not mean it's going to transfer. It won't. It will likely have no transfer at all. But if you're doing an activity that very closely resembles the activity you're trying to improve, for instance, putting a weight on a bat before stepping up to the plate, you're going to be at risk for something called negative transfer. So this is the problem with that. This is where he's wrong. There is no such thing as functional training. This was a marketing gimmicky term that was generated by the fitness industry to sell silly workout programs and classes and things like that. All training is functional, and doing movement patterns that resemble other movement patterns you do in life will have no transfer at all, and in some cases negative transfer. But most of the time, these movements are performed with a lot of momentum, a lot of force, discontinuous muscular loading, so they're relatively ineffective, inefficient, and sometimes dangerous. These exercises, they work. Of course they work. If they stress your muscle, if they generate deep inroad, deep fatigue, they're going to work. But are they the best way to inroad and fatigue your muscle? Well, no. Just like a toothbrush is not the best way to mop a floor, functional exercises are not the best way to stimulate improvements in the 5 general trainable factors of functional ability. But if for one reason or another you prefer to do them, knock yourself out. But I can assure you, in most cases, you're leaving gains on the table. So that's my thought on this video. Functional training, complete nonsense, complete myth, BS, disproven by the science of motor learning, which has been around for the last 70 years. And if you guys want personal coaching, personal help from me, dialing in your training, dialing in your diet, getting the results you deserve and you want in a very short period of time without any confusion in the process, click the link in the description below. Sign up for my 12-week coaching program. I will be your teacher. I will be your personal coach. And of course, your motivator to keep you on track. And also, if you want to go at it on your own and learn these principles, get your foot in the door and a good foundation for evidence-based training, go to goldenerasystem.com. Check out my video-based workout program that teach these concepts and show you exactly how to do it from start to finish so you can get in the gym and start seeing extremely good results and protect your body in the process. Until next time, guys, again, please hit the like, subscribe, bell notification icon. Stay tuned. I want to start debunking more of these fitness YouTube videos.